The podcast that you're about to listen to does not care about your emotions, your hypersensitivity, or your political correctness. If you wish to continue, then
shut up and sit down.
Like on his fucking like in his background and shit, and then the mic in the corner, so a little Larry King vibe.
Yeah, okay. It looked like he just want to say, "Where's Joker?" so bad.
Did y'all see them TikToks that I sent you? That was talking about like
which
the
ones?
The ones that were talking about the boxes in like in women's heads versus men's heads.
Oh yeah,
and like how it was talking about how women have like a box for shopping, a box for taking care of the house, a box for self-care and beauty, and like all these different things that all meld together, and how like guys have also a box for these things, but they just keep them separate, right? Like there's not a lot of touch. We focus, right, and we have a special box called the nothing box. Okay, right. Like can I tell you, I really connected with that dude. Like I really connected with that guy.
Well, because he spoke words that we might not be able to speak for ourselves. He knows.
I wasn't actually able to see that, unfortunately, but actually it'd be good if you give a recap briefly as to like what he meant.
It was just
for anybody who didn't see. I didn't see it.
It was like a comedian. He's pretty much doing his comedian thing, telling the differences between men and women, and how men. How women, they have all of the stuff in their head and they put it in certain places so it can work for them. And men also have that same thing. We have the yard box, we have the, you know what I mean, whatever, the car box, whatever it is, and we also have the nothing box. And women don't have that. And not only do women don't have that, they are baffled and confused why we have that, and some of them get angry. My wife tells me, how do you think about nothing?
The nothing box is our ability to do something right, to do something mindless or turn off, like John said, and it's like still breathe. Like we can kind of get lost. And the guy was also talking about how we have these different boxes as men, like John said, yard, car, family, work, whatever. But as men, we don't really allow those boxes to touch. We actually go through extreme lengths to make sure that they don't touch. We stay focused on. We stay focused on the task at hand, and try not to really get thrown into tangents away from that. Where women have many of these same boxes, possibly even more, but they are always in constant entanglement with each other and connection with each other. And that's why also contributes to why women are able to remember things at a different clip than men are, because having the entanglement also brings with it emotional attachment in some degree, whether it be happy, anger, love, whatever. And that allows them to hold on to stuff. And I bring it up because it made sense to me. Right? Like it gave me clarity. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. You are listening to the Alpha 5 podcast. I'm Frank with John and Fabian. I really like I said, I connected with it because we were talking about some shit the other day. Like, why do women have a hard time being friends with other women?
Well, because they all secretly hate each other. I don't think it's a secret. There's so much competition. Women can't be friends with each other. We understand that, right?
Yeah. Secret competition of each
other.
That
they can or can't, you say?
They cannot. There are, of course, I'm painting with a broad brush, and there are examples of women being super best friends and not having that kind of energy towards each other. But I don't know many women, even family members, that don't act like that towards other women.
Patty.
Yeah, every girl, I would say 98% of the girls that I've come in contact with, whether friends or otherwise, have all told me, oh, I don't have a lot of girlfriends. I get along better with guys. And one of two things pop into my head. Either you're a whore or you don't know how to be friends, right? You don't know how to maintain a relationship without getting super emotional and then involved. It's just, it's weird to me.
When we were having that convo, like I can't really think of one relationship I had where that really wasn't part of the situation. And even if it wasn't like audibly said, it's like I think back, I'm like, wait a minute, like this heifer had like 1 or 2 actual girlfriends
and a bunch of niggas. Just makes you look weird, right?
It definitely. Initially, it's awkward, right? Like especially when you first start dating with somebody when we were in like our 20s and whatnot. When, like that stuff is intimidating in a way, right? Because, you go to the club and all of a sudden like all these dudes come up to her. Oh, hey, hi.
Oh yeah. I would be I'll be side-eyeing each one of them, be like, I wonder which one.
Yeah, but really you should be side-eyeing the girl you with, because it's like, wait a minute, all right, you know them through one of 2 ways. You're either overly nice with them, thinking that you're being friends with them, and these niggas is trying to get in your pants, or they have already been in said pants. And either way, it's like I'm still looking at you a little funny, and I need some explaining.
But even back then, I don't think men would take it as personal, even in my 20s, as a woman would in her 30s, as far as friendship. Because I know females now that I'm friends with that literally like they don't think I'm their man, but like you feel some kind of ownership. It's just weird with women. It's weird. Y'all are my niggas, but I don't feel like I own any one of y'all, and I'm sure y'all don't feel like you own a piece of me. But women are different. The women are different, and so it's like, bro, that's why they can't be friends with each other, because they have the same ideas, right? I've been in situations where my wife would be like, "Oh, did you see how so and so looked at this person?" and da 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 da, and I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, you just be ignoring everything. You be missing everything." Well, yeah, I have peace. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm not scouring the scenery looking for drama right now.
Or looking for somebody to slight me, bro. Why would I want to live my life like that? Oh, well, you didn't understand the inflection of the tone. And I give credit to some women, because women are good for picking up things that men aren't necessarily. If there's a woman that's hitting on you, men are 90% of the time the last one to know. It's always the other women in the room that see what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? I've been in that situation plenty of times. Oh, she like you. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You didn't see that? No, I did not. I like peace.
She just asked if I had a pen. Like what?
Right. But that's why women can't be friends, right? Because they're always looking for that underlying thing. And that's why we can be friends, because it's not that our friendship is surface level, but it only goes deep when it needs it, when it requires to get that deep.
Do you think that most guys are friends with girls because they're trying to get a piece?
I think early on, but I have a lot of female friends now because I like the conversations, right? It's cool to sit there and fuck around with y'all niggas and talk about man shit, talk about, vaginas or whatever the fuck we were talking about, right? But sometimes you want to hear how a female looks at a certain situation or their perspective and things. I'm not necessarily involved. I don't want to be involved with your drama, your girl drama. You can leave that shit away from me. But even when it comes to stuff like, you could have a political conversation. I don't necessarily want to keep having them with the same niggas that just want to keep buying guns. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get a fucking female's perspective. Like, not to say that you're wrong.
Why? That was
not the only.
That was so specific, though. I felt a little attacked.
I'm probably the only person that I know that really fight. Everybody else that I know is they're into gun ownership. It's not just y'all.
It just felt very specific.
Well, I think that's because that was some female shit. I didn't say you, nigga. And you just was
but if the shoe fits, I've been wear it.
I don't know, because you were saying y'all like talking to us. I don't know. That was a suspect statement, sir.
I like to speak in generalities. I'm sorry, but I like having female perspective, and so probably when I was younger, I was probably trying to put my dick in everything, but. Even the females that I still have now, I wasn't trying to fuck those females then. It was more about like the conversation that they brought. So it's not always about sex, even though when you're younger, it probably is most likely about sex.
I feel like when I was younger and single, I have to be specific on that one because like.
Well, you wasn't with Marty, so you can talk about whoever the fuck you want.
I'm saying in general because. Like I was always the guy that was wifed up, right? No. But shut up. But when I wasn't, it was a good time. I hate y'all.
You don't seem like the relationship type.
But like, I know some other people on the podcast that had a lot of friends, but I don't know what his intentions were.
Well, let me just start counting and see who we're talking about here. I don't think it's PJ because he's saying the words.
This was when we were.
He's saying the words.
Well, we were younger.
Anyway, it's me.
Nah.
Fuck, I forgot my train of thought. Fuck me.
Just about we were talking about how men and women were friends. Like you were asking me, was it a sexual thing earlier? And I think that's what she was asking Fade. Was it like a sexual thing earlier? And it might have.
I was probably gonna get there.
Yeah, definitely was.
Either way, I don't know why women can't be friends. I think that it's cool when women have good relationships, and they might be able to teach men something about being friends. But I don't know any girl that can teach me about being a better friend to my friends, because most girls that I know are shitty friends to their girlfriends.
But you have to understand that the wiring is different. I think the dynamic is different. So I had this conversation recently, and it was that, I mean, it might be different too in different parts of the country, but we can be very honest with each other about stuff. Like if we all decide to go out one night, right? We would see, I would see PJ wearing a shirt or a pair of jeans and be like, bro, that is horrendous. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. Or fix it, do whatever, right? Some women, not saying all, because I know a couple that are pretty honest, but a lot of them, to spare one's feelings, because they also get emotional when they are they feel a certain way when they're talked about when it comes to their looks, how they're dressed, all that. So they'll say to spare feelings, they'll give them a white lie. They're like, oh no, you look fine. Meanwhile, deep down inside, they look hideous. Now, some of them actually literally just are trying to be nice and don't want to hurt their feelings, and then others be like, I'd rather be the baddest chick in the room. I had my friend look a little bit less than me, so I'm the most attractive one to look at.
There's different reasons. They're not friends.
There's different reasons for it.
It's not a reason. You're not friends. There's no. If that's what women, I don't mean to cut you off, but if that's how females generally act with each other, there's no way they can ever be friends.
They do it all the time. It's actually a normal thing. I mean, look at the weddings. They always need to have the bridesmaids look less than the bride somehow. They're still gonna look good, but you're not gonna be on my level or above.
I mean, that's a little. A wedding's not a fair comparison, in all honesty.
Right, because I'm not trying to outshine PJ either on his wedding. I'm not trying to come there with a better show.
The wedding's about the two people.
No, you're not looking to outshine. And even as a groomsman, I wouldn't. And a bridesmaid probably wouldn't want to. But the mentality is, I want everybody to look best. The bride and the groom are thinking that way, or more likely.
I mean,
I don't think PJ was thinking that way.
No, exactly.
But at the same time, like I know I wanted to look the sharpest at my wedding. Like that was part of like.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're not attaching that thought with, well, that means my friends have to look worse.
Exactly.
No, I want to. No, that's true. Yeah.
You're just like, I want to be the best. I want to look the best.
You just want to look
about everybody else.
You just want to look the best.
I wasn't going to purposefully like sabotage how y'all looked to make sure I looked great. Yeah. All right.
Right.
Well,
you're going to look good, but you're going to have a busted color that isn't the best. You know what I mean? Something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, women, like when it comes to like getting dressed up and whatnot, they're doing it not only to impress men, but to impress other women. When guys get dressed up, we're not thinking about the other guy. We're thinking about impressing the women. Like that's literally how it goes. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's part of what affects some, even I think some guys, like once they get into relationships and shit like that, is because like now I no longer have to impress anybody because I already got somebody. It's not a right mentality. I'm saying I think that's what ends up happening. It's like I know with me when I was single, and then when Maribel and I were dating, like I feel like I put a lot more effort, but obviously situations being very different, you know, to show up and show out. You know what I'm saying? That's that part of that courting, right? Once the courting's done, you know, you kind of lose the steam for that. Many women though don't, because they still, although they have their man now, they still need to impress the other women in their life because they don't want them to talk shit.
They want to still feel sexy too, and to other men for some reason. You know, the Aisha Curry shit, where she was like, "I want men to want to fuck me," which is so weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you want to look good, but I don't. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
But I think guys can feel the same way about, like, everyone wants to be desired.
I don't want to look ugly, but I'm not going to be mad because other women don't desire me like sexually. I'm not going to care.
You know what?
Is
you know
a
what?
woman
Because
out there that does desire me sexually.
Because you know what? It's to feed the ego. That's the bottom line. Nobody wants to admit it, because even though you got the love of your life, you still, part of you wants to be like, I still got it. So
maybe I don't have
that's an ego. That's an ego thing. So
yeah, but I don't think it's that people will necessarily want, like, to be. You still want to be fuckable.
Like, but to your significant other, like,
right? Like, but the thing is though, so your significant other though, your significant other is less likely to tell you that you are not fuckable. Right?
Well, they're fucking you, so they can't.
Right. I'm saying your significant other is gonna be like, damn, like, I'm really not interested in getting down with you anymore, right? Like, as you get chubby, as you start dressing shabby, whatever, one day they're adjusting to you through life as it comes, but then they're not trying to have that smoke. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like, because now becomes unsaid, right? If other women want me, there's no reason for you not to. You know what I'm saying? You don't. The question doesn't have to be asked, because again, your wife isn't gonna tell you, like, nigga, my man, you got fat, and I'm not sexually attracted to you anymore.
No,
but if these heifers in the street trying to get down, it's not that you're trying to get down with them, but it's kind of confirmation that, all right, you still got it, so you don't have to worry. You feel better on your relationship front.
If that bitch like me, my wife got to like me.
You know what I'm saying?
It's literally the logic.
I see what you're saying, but not necessarily, because I'll give you an example. Like, just with my look, for, I guess, probably going on 10 years now, I shaved my head, but I've never had this. I just started to grow this. I've never been a fan of this. I was always just easier. I've seen it for years. Just take a Mach 3 to everything, Mach 5, whatever, and just get rid of it all. Easier, no barbershops, no nothing. It's convenient. And when I was single, I still did well, and I felt like I did better when I was completely.
For those of y'all listening, he's talking about his goatee. Fabian's talking about his goatee. For y'all, y'all listening, go find out. Go check us out on YouTube to see it.
He's a handsome man.
So, I was like, I'm not a big fan of this until my girl was like, try out the beard, and then I kept on with it. She was like, I like that. Me personally, I could do away with it, but she likes it. So if the rest of the women don't like it, that's fine. She loves when I have it, so guess what? I'm going to keep on doing it. So that's the type of thing. So for instance, that's the difference between us and them. Like, I'll give you an example. The high-waisted shorts, the high-waisted jeans, I don't know what they see the attractiveness of that. I don't find it attractive. I'm just like, it doesn't look appealing.
That's a fashion thing, though. Fashion repeats itself every 30 years.
I'm about to fuck myself, but a lot of women can't dress. I'm just going to put that.
But I get that. But the difference is that if we told, maybe not your wives, but I know a lot of women, especially my girlfriends in the past, if I told them, babe, I'm not a big fan of that, they'd be like, well, I don't know, I like it. And what that really means is the rest of our girlfriends think that looks good. But I'm like, well, here's the thing. You're trying to attract me, or even if you're single, you're trying to attract other men, because I'm pretty sure we don't find that attractive. The majority of us don't find that look that appealing. I mean, we'll look past it, obviously, especially if you're looking pretty thick in those jeans.
I mean, I've seen it done nice, but it's not like a go-to look.
But you know what? Right. But when it's up past your belly button and stuff like that, I'm like, nah, I'm not a big fan of that. However, but they still won't. The difference is we're willing to change our appearance to appease our women versus women changing their appearance to appease us, because they're still trying to. They're more willing
to appease us if we have what we.
No, I feel like they're willing to appease their friends and other women that say, no, that doesn't look good on you, blah blah blah. But I'm like, and I'm telling you, no, I think that's, like sweatpants and a tank top, right? They just hang around.
That's also because we care less, though. Like, all right, you want me to wear the blue shirt instead of the red shirt, whatever. I really don't care to begin with. And then on top of it, normally if a woman tells you to change something, it's because it's likely for the better, and it is going to make you more attractive publicly. Because, for example, like, I understand that you did your beard for your girl, right? But at the same time, if now you have your beard and you go out to shop, right, and all of a sudden with your beard, you got some of these heifers are turning their heads and like, oh shit, Fabian, oh, you look different, wow, right? That's also going to register different for you. Now, is that why you did it? Not necessarily, but it is confirmation to the fact that my nigga, you look better, right? Look at we all have a mutual friend, right? Prior to getting married, there were women that he worked with that he felt weren't giving him the time of the day, right? This nigga got married, and all of a sudden, these they coming out the woodwork. Ain't nothing changed but a ring. Ain't nothing changed but a ring. But all of a sudden, Josh, you look different. Have you been doing something?
Or why you expose this nigga on the pod?
You've been doing something, huh?
Why you expose him on the pod?
Damn. That happened.
What up, my nigga? I know you listening.
No last name.
Okay.
Fuck that. But kudos to him regardless.
Yeah.
That was a slip. Right. My bad. But kudos, I mean that goes to show you how, is it vanity? Vain? How vain these heifers can be, because he's still the super awesome dude that he's always been, right? But these women all of a sudden wanted something that another woman had.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if they might not even know that, because I feel like sometimes they even pick up on the vibe. I tell you what, they pick up on the thirsty vibe. They know when a man is out was out there looking, versus a man that's out there chilling with his boys at happy hour, having a couple drinks after work, married or got his girlfriend at home, right? Because it's happened. And now all of a sudden they're like, yo, you're not looking at me, you're not interested. So that piques their interest.
That's the best thing you can do.
Because now they're like, what's going on? So I think they pick up on, like, they can almost look at you and guarantee, I know you're definitely looking, or no.
Women be trifling though too.
Well, it's a benefit to being kind of how I was growing up. Like, I was shy and didn't want to talk to them. So I ignored pretty girls all the time. Right? Not because I was trying to be the cool guys, because I was fucking scared to talk to them. And that kind of worked out even now, because I walk by girls all the time and I can see it in their face when they're confused when I don't say anything like trying to advance on them. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't wear a wedding ring, so it's not like I'm married unless you look at the tattoo on my arm. Right? So they be dumbfounded. I don't say anything sexual or you look nice today or anything. Oh, no, can you just put my clothes in the bag and I'll be out of here. Like, I don't do that with them. And I noticed that women, they get dumbfounded. You'd be surprised at the amount of dick that is thrown at a woman all day, right? And that shit goes to their head and they act accordingly. So they think that the amount of dick kind of raises their status, and that applies to all women. So if one girl sees another girl that she might be friends with or something like that don't get the same amount of attention, she's going to look down on her. She's going to treat her differently. Like, that's not really your homegirl like that. Like, she can't do nothing for you. That's why women can't be friends. Their mentals are fucked up. You know?
Nah, it's true. There's just so much that goes into shit though, man. Like the dynamics of relationships are just messed up. Like, for example, I also think that when it comes to all of a sudden, let's say a guy that gets married, that women realize like, all right, he's a keeper, right? Somebody else wanted him, so he's got something to offer me.
And he was willing to commit.
Right. So that's also part of the dynamic that's involved. Shit just ain't the same
bitches
anymore.
Bitches is trifling. Females, dude, women are trifling.
It's so hard, I think, to court. I mean, take pandemic out of the situation. Like, the whole nature of things and like what people are looking for and what works for some and what doesn't. Like, shit, I feel is really at an all-time high in terms of difficulty.
I feel
like it's hardcore mode right now, because you have to respect everybody now, right? You have to respect everyone's desires, their wants, their needs, their all the nuances of them, right? It's not simple anymore. Like, gender roles don't exist anymore. For example, right? At least your gender roles don't exist. Men are expected you're not necessarily your traditional man anymore. At least in terms of what it seems these women are looking for. And men can't really find a traditional woman as easily anymore.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I really have.
Because it's a shaming thing actually. Because nowadays the younger generations, the younger you get, having the gender roles, and women actually shame other women for maybe wanting a traditional gender role. Because I have no problem, getting married and having kids. Even that is sometimes now in the new age way of thinking is considered a negative, and you're not down with the program, and almost borderline you're anti-woman if you think that way. So they actually shame them into thinking and guilt them into being like, this is the way you got to be. But it's like, I kind of want that though, like, because what, there's a part of biology that actually they want that, like they want the alpha male, they want the protector. It's just like every other animal in the animal kingdom, and the same thing goes for man with woman. So for the most part, that's just it's a natural way of being, but we're wired to go against a lot of our nature and labeling it as, it's sexist or misogynistic to think that way. Even holding the door open is seen as demeaning sometimes to some women. It's like,
I can hold my own door.
Hold my own door. You don't have to patronize me. You have to patronize me.
Polite.
Like,
I do it for dudes too.
They see, like, they perceive that as you see me as weak, so I should not do that.
Yeah,
the car door open, I could do it. Yeah, but agree, because it's just being polite. But or say, open the car door for your woman, or even paying the bill if you got it like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes if you can't, you can't, or if you could. Finances is one thing, but say if you just wanted to treat them, sometimes I've had it where some women has seen that as offensive, because it's like, don't patronize me. I make my own money. I can do it. Well, it's not about that. It's just trying to be, polite and courteous. Like, I want to take care of it. You know what I mean? So it's the rules have changed, and I'm not even sure if it's for the better. And I think a lot of men and women are starting to notice it's actually more detrimental than it is helping people dating in society now, especially if they want to partake in some of those gender roles. So it's actually a serious question we have to ask ourselves, because I think we're part of that generation where we have a little bit of both. You know what I mean? And as we get younger and younger, we still have some of the old school mentality built in with us. And then we also have some of the new age stuff. And the younger and younger you get, I feel like it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Our generation started a lot of crap. Our generation started a lot of crap. Like, because I do think this whole, like, the mindset of, I don't want to say like the Me Too, but like that's,
it was before that.
That ideology. No. I know, but I'm saying like that movement, I feel like, started with our generation before it was labeled as Me Too.
You know what really fucked us up? I don't mean it's going to seem like it's crazy, but the top 8 fucked us up, right? Because now that starts to put you, and if anybody don't know what I'm talking about, if you're younger, there was this website called MySpace, right? And you had to put your friend. It is.
It was the Facebook before Twitter, right. Instagram. It was one of the original social media platforms that everybody got down on.
You put your friends in a hierarchy, right? Now everything is about image, right? The way you set up your profile, the music, the background, the friends that you have up there. The internet has us conditioned now, right? And that was that's what started it. And so when you progress that way, when it's all about image and having people being put on a pedestal, right? Now the internet, where we are in 2021, has guys thinking that you need $1 billion in a bank account, a 17-inch dick, and 12 mistresses, right? And it has women thinking that you need Louis bags and fake asses and to look like Cardi B and what's the other bitch? Kim Kardashian, right? I like Cardi B. She's good. But that's not the point. The internet got everybody thinking that you are not successful or you are not worthy of love if you don't look like this, if you don't have this. I know y'all don't listen to Cardi, but her last song, Up, in the chorus, it was just like, broke boys don't deserve no pussy, right? That's some shit like that's the lyric, like broke boys don't deserve no pussy. Okay, fine. If that's sentiment we want to have, cool. But a lot of these bitches is broke out here too, and so what do they deserve? You know what I'm saying? And it's like you put these things out. Kevin Samuels just talk about it all the time. There's females out there that are looking for these guys that are in the 1%, but they don't have what it takes to get the guy in the 1%. And the internet has gotten them thinking that you deserve a CEO or so. Like, there's only a certain amount of CEOs in the country. There's only a certain amount of bosses. Somebody's got to fucking be the plumber. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? And it's funny. I think
those guys have value.
Yeah, they always say you need a guy that at least makes 6 figures. And I think I forgot what the percentage is, but I think it's only 10% of the male population actually makes above that. The rest are, the majority are within like the $40,000 to $100,000 range.
Yeah.
You know, but they're like, oh, I want a guy that makes 6 figures because I think it's a little, I think reality.
Values are thrown off.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Values are thrown off. But that's what I was trying to get to. I just couldn't get out. Like what used to make a man, right? In terms of providing and, how he protected and took care of his family, right? Used to be at the forefront of what a man's responsibility was and what a lot of women were looking for. At least that's in my opinion.
Yes.
Versus now, like,
no, you can't fight the patriarchy.
I'm confused. Right. I'm confused as to what women are looking for, because you want, like, I feel like women now want the super sensitive guy that's understanding, that respects them, which never should have changed before, right? Wants the guy that's gonna provide, but
minus the masculinity part, minus the
right. They want all the same things minus the masculinity in it. But
but that comes with it, baby.
That it should.
But to do those things, you do need some sort of hardened sense of being and masculinity,
right? Like
masculinity to do that.
Masculinity's
a man, men and women are built different. People need to accept.
Don't you say that? That is hate speech.
We are biologically built differently, and that's
YouTube is not gonna like what you're saying.
I don't. Whatever. This. Like, why is that such? I don't get it. Why is that such a problem to say that I'm built to protect better than you?
Do you want to know the answer?
It's not that you can't do it. It's that I'm better at it.
It's time for John to get canceled. What the problem is that everybody, the people who are confused about this stuff, right? They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to live in a fucked up lifestyles. They want to continue to maintain the bullshit that goes on into their life with no consequences, no responsibilities. You could be gay, but you're not running from who you are, bro. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot that goes into people running from who they are just naturally are.
It's like, they're confused in their own skin. Well, that's where
I guess it's a different, I know it's a different subject, but at the end of the day, gender roles exist. We are different. Trans women should not be wrestling girls, right? They shouldn't be racing them. They shouldn't be playing basketball with them. It shouldn't be. It's not fair. It's not the same. We are built differently. Period.
It doesn't matter how many pills you take, what kind of suppression you do.
Right. Your cells don't give a fuck.
Your muscle mass is built differently. So if you're gonna go into a UFC ring as a trans woman and fight a biological woman, you've got a wild advantage. Like that's not going to change regardless of how you want to be viewed in the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Women, I feel like today want a man who's gonna respect them, protect them, provide for them, which is all things that I think a man should do. But then you want to take away the things that he should be inherently be doing as a man as well, right?
Men are aggressive. We have adrenaline. We have these things, and you can't try to neuter it, right? The positives that a lot of women like about men. They always say they want they want to be able to have a man that can build a deck and go cut the grass and do the manly things, but you want this nigga to fucking sit there and watch The Notebook with you. He not gonna do that. If that's his why. I mean, The Notebook was a really good movie, so I guess I picked the wrong movie because I like that movie.
It was a good movie.
I don't really like movies like that, but that one is the bee's knees. The point being is, you gonna get some toxic masculinity with that shit that you want from the man. Just like I'm gonna get the annoying femininity that I want from a woman. I want her soft touch, and I know she's gonna annoy me with her words. It's kind of what it comes with. I don't want no woman that act like a dude.
Yeah.
I don't want no real nigga for a woman. I don't want that. I'm already rough enough.
You know what I think a big part of it is that this generation, especially the new age, fight the patriarchy movement and all that, came from with their knowledge of a couple of past exceptions. So what happened was, back in the day, although the man was providing, he was bringing home the bacon, he was taking care of the family, he also had some very abusive men, and that was very messed up, because in protector, you're supposed to protect, you're supposed to hold your strength back, control your anger, like you were talking about before, John, when we had a conversation outside the podcast. Our whole purpose, because we have that power, is we have to control it, we have to be respectful with it, and we have to do the right thing with it, and protect those who are weak and protect those who can't protect themselves, including our family, our wives, whoever they may be. So what happened was, everybody hears about the bad, nobody hears about the good. So they take many exceptions where men were doing that, but still wailing on their wife because after they came home from working in the coal mines, they didn't make freaking steak. Instead, they got freaking casserole, and they got pissed off and just started giving her a black eye. And a couple of bad husbands were, just raping their wives and all kinds of crazy stuff that would happen. And I hate to use that word, the R word, especially.
Yeah, we might get canceled for that one too.
Sexually assaulting their wives. So they would hear a lot of these cases that would happen, right? But they would forget about the good stuff that happened with some of these men. When you take that out, that's actually a good thing to have somebody who's actually there to take care of you, provide for you, help you out, be your support, and you lean on each other. And that's a little bit of the gender role. They take care of the man, takes care of the masculine shit, takes care of the house, takes care of whatever he needs to help protect. And the wife is queen in her kingdom and in her domain and in her section. And I feel like they take that and they take it to the extreme. So now it went from that. Now we want to be seen as equal and treated as equal. And that's fine in a lot of cases, especially with the right to vote and the right to have a good job and all that stuff. But when it comes to like even just our social interaction, they want us to almost see each other like I see y'all. And that is not a good thing to do, because we curse at each other, we make fun of each other, we just, you know what I mean?
Say nasty things that I would probably never say to my female friends.
Because we hold them on
relationships for a reason.
Yeah, because we hold them on a pedestal because of who and what they are, because they're deserving of that. The problem is that when you start taking that away, they don't realize that now you're gonna have an adverse reaction, and then they wonder why a lot of young males nowadays don't treat women with respect. They treat them like as if they treat one of the dudes, and they're like, "What the hell's going on with this?" Well, it kind of happens when you have
dudes that act like females,
or you have
you've got guys that are treating their women like not like women, like not like queens, like they should be treated. Mm-hmm. They're treating them like regular dudes
niggas in the street.
Mm-hmm. And then you on the flip side, you've got men who are acting
like little bitches.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit too feminine for my liking.
Like little bitches. Right? It's okay. We bringing back masculinity, bro. If a dude is acting like a little bitch, you acting like a little bitch. That's not a sexual thing. I was trying
to choose my wording for a reason.
We already got canceled. I understand. Canceled already. Bleep the shit out at this point, because we're probably not gonna be able to release this shit at this point. But you can't act like a little bitch sometimes. It's not having. There's a balance between men. Fave's right. Back in the 50s, when they were slapping each other, or men were slapping their women because their food wasn't hot or done. You can't have that. Mm-hmm. But there's a balance between a man being sensitive and being a man. Right. And that's where the perfect balance is. You can't have it one way or the other. You can't have a bunch of soft ass cream pie motherfuckers. The world would fall. And luckily we don't have, it might seem like there's a lot of men out there like that, and there probably are, but I think there's more men that are really willing to get their hands dirty and go out there and just do whatever it takes for that moment as a man to make sure that X, Y, and Z gets done. There are a lot more guys like that than we think. And I think what's put out there is a lot of Jussie Smollett and a lot of soft You know what I'm saying? A lot of softness is put out there that we have to be in touch with our inner, fuck all that, right? We didn't get as far as we did in society by men being that way.
I think part of it also is because men try to take on a certain role, for whatever reason, it's interpreted as we're saying that women are not capable of doing certain things, right? And it has nothing to do with that. It has, to me, it's a matter of who's more capable, right? With any job, with any company, right? You're gonna put the best players in the position to succeed, right? If you're on a basketball court, if you're 7 foot, whatever, 300 pounds, I'm not putting you to play point guard, right?
Just thinking that
exactly. Like I'm putting you to play center, right? Versus if you're 6'2", quick as a mofo, guess what? Guess what you're doing? Your hands is wild. Guess what position you're playing? So the same thing happens in our relationships, except you really got two, unless you're in a polygamous relationship, then hey, kudos to you, and you have a couple more players on the field. But other than that, like, we're a little bit better designed to handle things a certain way. Not that you're not capable of. I'm just a little bit better at it. If we got to go move shit in the yard and we got to load up the wheelbarrow with some mulch, I'm going to be able to move some more mulch than you.
Well, not only am I going to be able to move it, it's not about even being it, because yes, you would be able to move it, right? But you can find a strong woman that can move it too. It's the process that goes behind. Now I have the mulch. I have to put it in the right spot, because if I don't put it in the right spot, this is going to happen. 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 It's the process. It's the thought process that it ain't just the physicality, right? Your dad's taught you how to think about stuff like that, so you don't have to work harder than you need to, so you don't make the mistakes that you need to do. We all know about having your grass a certain length, right? The three of us know you have your grass a certain length, you should expect visitors, right? We know that. My wife don't necessarily understand that until I had to explain it to her. Like, the higher the grass, the more likely you are to get snakes, rats, bugs, anything else, right? So it doesn't matter. It's got to be cut. This is a process in my head. Well, if I wait this long, I'm going to have this problem. Water's going to start. So this is how we are built to think. I'm not built to think about I don't know how to fucking bake a cake. And that's not saying that that's like all women do, but they're wired to think a certain way inside the home, and I'm wired to think a certain way outside the home, right? I can do the things that she does. I'm just not going to do them well, because she is wired.
And you know what the thing is that I'm okay with knowing that I cannot do some of the things that women can do a lot of stuff better than us. I can tell you one thing: multitasking, they're fire. They could do X, Y, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, F, and go back and do B and C, no problem, and do it again and keep track of all of it. They're better than that, and I have no shame admitting I won't be good at that. They are better at that than me. So I don't understand why this new generation feels like when we say, hey, we're better at something than you are, it's considered a slight. Because anti.
It's a slight because I can do anything that you can, and I don't need you, and I don't need no man like you do. Yes, you do. You do need a man. I need a woman. I could not survive without my wife. She organizes me. She keeps me on track. Hey,
you could. You wouldn't survive as well.
Right.
I mean, it's really what it. Right.
I'm capable, but my life is so much better with her in it because of what she provides from that womanhood standpoint. I couldn't provide it for myself, and my mama, she got her own man.
Like I said, it's not about saying that one is not able to do the other. It's just it's really more acknowledgement that one is better at it than the other. Like, I'll give you a perfect example now. When my daughter is extremely, extremely tired, right? At least at this point in her life, she wants her mother to put her to sleep. Doesn't matter how tired she is, she will fight with me. But the moment literally during the transfer, this little girl quiets down. By the time she's on her mother's shoulder, she's falling asleep. My wife has a certain presence, whatever that is, whether it be softness, whether it be just because she got boobs, whatever. My wife's presence, right? Yeah. My wife's presence for my daughter gives her a certain comfort that I don't have the ability to offer her.
Superpower as a woman, she has superpowers.
I've had to accept that. You know what I'm saying? The same way that when something is physically needed, right? I'm the one that gets called to do these things. Her crib had to be lowered the other day. My wife is she loves doing that shit. But you know what? She also acknowledges that I can do it faster because I'm more mechanically inclined. I understand the process.
Right. Your brain is wired in such a way where these problems aren't real problems to you. They might have been 15, 20 years ago, but you had a dad. Right. And this is why men are important, women are important, your roles are important. My dad and your guys' dad, I absolutely know, taught you how to do things that men are required to do. They ain't gonna teach you everything, but they're gonna teach you how to think, how to get to the conclusions that you need to do to fix the problems. Our wives' mothers did the same thing with different things, right? Solutions to problems that we might not necessarily understand. If your washing machine is broke, what you gonna do about washing your clothes, right? I had to learn eventually, wash them bitches in the tub, right? Do what you got to do. But that came from a woman. My pops didn't come up with that idea. That's not his thought process, right? It's a woman's thought process. I wouldn't know the first fucking thing. And so you can do these same things as men, just like we can do the same things as women. Mm-hmm. But the way that God set everything up, yes, I used the G word. Sorry, everybody. That's not how it works. Like I'm wired to be, there's a reason I'm 6'4", 215 pounds, right? I can take punishment more. I can do things more physical. There's a reason, like physically, biology, nature made me this way, right? Just
the same way biologically, women are just more emotional than men are.
Right.
Like that is literally a biological trait that women are more emotional than most, if not most men.
Biology is everything to me, and we have beards because our faces need to be protected from the elements as we're outside doing man things. Like you ever had a girl tell you your eyelashes are so long? That's not fair. I want your eyelashes. You know why men's eyelashes are longer than girls? It's to protect ourselves from the dirt that we are going to be outside exposed to, right? They think that shit is for cuteness. That shit ain't for cuteness. That is your body saying you're this way, and this is why you're this way, and this is what you need to go do, right? That's why women don't grow beards. It's not just a chromosome thing. It's a biological thing.
Most women don't grow beards.
That is true, but I have seen a few that looking like me.
Word. You know now, I really do think that we gotta start acknowledging gender roles a little bit more. Not everything is meant to minimize a person's existence and worth, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it's really women, not that serious.
Be better friends. Women, be better friends to your other women.
You know what? Us. Not for nothing. If women had a couple more friends like them, they'd be able to communicate a little bit more and have a little bit of a better understanding as to how things maybe can work. You know, like a little camaraderie. You can see that certain things aren't really like an issue the way that
but the thing is, it's
made to be.
It's always a competition with them. It's always a competition.
Do you think women have competitions with us also?
No.
Like our wives are in competition with us?
I
think so. I think that might be true.
I think who does more?
I don't think my wife.
But I think with some things. No.
Like what? As far as what?
Like I do this. I do more.
Right.
This,
like a matter of who does what in the house.
Oh, I mean, you can have a competition all you want. You win, nigga. Congratulations.
It depends on the type of competition.
I'm saying though that there's even competition.
But there are competitions. Yes. I like to do like intellectual, I don't like to do them, but intellectual competitions where I'm going to solve a problem before you and you think that you're going to solve this problem before me. You're not going to. Right.
Are women inherently more competitive than men?
Yes, absolutely. Because we only compete when it's time to compete. There is no other reason.
That's what I'm saying. Women are always competing, whether it's with each other or at the job with us. Women are always competing.
100%. My wife competes with her daughters.
I feel like I just had an epiphany. This it feels like news to me.
No,
I need to go have a conversation because I didn't really realize this until this conversation.
But you're right, because they're always in competition, always looking at the next the next person to see where they can do
I feel
better. And go ahead.
I think about all the two most influential women in my life, being my wife and my mother, always pointing out to me the shit that they do and the shit that I don't.
Oh yeah.
Not the shit that I do. Until like they have to defend me to somebody else.
Then
and all of a sudden I do a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, I fix everything in this house, and you would think that I don't do anything. Like literally everything physical here, I do. I gotta cook. I gotta do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Saying you just did your Trump voice for that.
Fake news. Yeah, so I do think they're in competition with everybody. My wife's in competition with her daughters. She just don't know it yet. My daughters are in competition with their mama. They don't know it yet. Me and the boys are always fine. We're just chilling. Nobody competes for anything because we're all going to get what we want or don't care anyway. You know what I mean? They emotionally compete with each other.
Men, I think men also naturally fall in line into maybe not naturally, but eventually fall in line in terms of hierarchy also. Like your boys know that not to fuck with you, right? So once you accept that, it's like, all right, smooth sailing, right? They understand that the power battle hasn't happened yet for you.
Yes, but that's again, it goes back to our biology. Look at any animal in the animal kingdom with the alpha. Somebody always tries to compete, and then it's like, hold on. Now they're like, oh shit, they got rocked, and now it's like, you know what? Okay, you're the man. I got it. Cool.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm gonna follow your lead.
That's what I'm saying.
I think we were talking about this the other day, right? With men, there's always an underlying threat of violence, always. So we can't be catty like women because that shit's going to eventually turn to violence, right? We're not going to do that. So there's always an underlying threat. You disrespect a certain line, right? Point, yeah, with a man, it's different. You got to keep them lines. You mind your business. You don't come out your place. You don't say nothing too crazy that's outside of the lines of friendship. And that's how men function. And we never had this conversation. I don't never have to verbally express that you guys are niggas and I'm a nigga. So if we all go too far, we're probably going to lead to fisticuffs. We don't have to talk about that. There's no man you have to have a conversation with like that. There's no man that you have to sit there and physically say, hey, nigga, me and you. Nope. It's always implied and understood.
The vibe, it's the vibe, right? Like, you know what will fly with somebody and what won't. Like, I know what I can say to y'all and what reactions I'm likely going to get and how far I can push, right? That the envelope. And with you guys, it's complete because of our history, right? And our understanding and that the relationship development, it's completely different than if I meet somebody in the street. Like one of y'all says something to me that sideways, like you guys get benefit of the doubt.
Right.
And I'm also going to respond a certain way where you'll have an understanding as to my response.
We get to explain ourselves.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Versus somebody says something to me sideways in the street, like you have no options now, sir.
I'm a man, you a man. Now we just gonna have to do this, sir.
Yeah, like
we have to do this.
Things have happened. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but that's the difference between men and women, and that's why it's necessary for us to maintain how we are.
I feel a little bit enlightened, and I feel like I need to have conversations now.
No, I'm definitely I'm about to have a sit down with my wife. Absolutely. Why are you always trying to beat me at shit? First of all, why do you think you better than
me? Like, can we just establish you're better in the home? Like let's just get this out of the way so we can stop this battle. We can stop the combo and the competition. You're number one on the leaderboard. I'll put myself at 10.
My wife how to park the car, how to back the car into the garage. Oh my God! So now I have to do it every time. She just can't.
You're better than me. You're better than me. Yeah. You better figure this out. Nope.
No, you're gonna fuck the car up. I have no time to play these games.
No. You need to figure this car. You need to figure this out and not fuck the car up.
Nah, that's too much of a risk. That's too risky.
Oh,
why?
Well, everyone makes calculated risks.
Me teaching you a lesson is gonna cost me money.
It is a calculated risk.
Everybody makes a calculated risk.
Up are pretty high. So I can't let this happen.
Yeah, I get it. I don't feel that way in my situation, but I
don't even let her drive. When we're going somewhere, I could be having back spasms and leg pains. I don't let her drive ever, unless she's not in the car with me.
Calculated risks. Anyway, fellas, we covered a lot in this. I mean, we covered a lot. That's what happens when we're not here for 2 weeks. Happy Memorial Day, right? That's the one that passed and all that.
That happened. Father's Day is coming up at some point. I don't know when.
Take care of us. We deserve it. We do deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was good. Anyway,
ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Frank with John and Fabian. Remember, you can also view this episode on YouTube, and we are on every streaming platform. Spread the word. We here. Fellas, my niggas. Later.
Peace.